Okay, so welcome everyone. If you don't know Penny Babb, here she is somewhere. She will be speaking. Penny is our past SIA president from 2 years ago. She was our official visitor at our conference 2 years ago, which was virtual. So we didn't get to meet her in person. I didn't either, but absolutely enjoyed having her with us. And I'm super grateful that she agreed to do this workshop today. This is a super important topic to me because, you know, we're always getting the feedback that clubs are having trouble filling positions, especially the president role, but other roles as well. And it's the same people doing the same things over and over, and sometimes just rotating jobs. I know Janice can speak to that. So it's important that we know how, you know, to look for future leaders. And so that's a lot of what this Leadership Academy is about. So thank you, Penny, for joining us, and I'll turn it over to you.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our interactive Identifying and Nurturing Successors workshop, which is part of the Sierra Pacific Region Leadership Academy. As you said, I'm Penny Babb. I'm the president of my club this year, SI Happy Valley of the Sun in Peoria, Arizona, which is part of the Golden West region. First, thank you for including me in your Leadership Academy. And by the way, a Leadership Academy is a fantastic idea. So congratulations for being so innovative. Let's see if I can move this along. So identifying and nurturing successors sounds like a difficult, time-consuming task, but creating successors doesn't have to be overwhelming. There is nothing as important as making your club designed to be successful for your work and attracting new members to step forward to lead an already successful club. So let's identify your club's leadership opportunities. Let's think about your club's members and make some assumptions. Let's talk about getting to know your people so you can help plug people into the succession wheel. And most importantly, let's talk about mentoring your members so they don't feel alone. And let's match people to the opportunities where they can be successful and build their confidence for leadership. Well, this is a workshop, so let's get to work. Miles Monroe said, "True leaders don't invest in buildings. They invest in people." Why? Because success without a successor is failure. Your legacy should not be in buildings, programs, or projects. Your legacy must be in people. A simple question. Do you know your people? Do you know your members? The key to the successful future of our committees, our clubs, our regions, our federation is getting to know your members and providing the environment in which they feel successful, welcome, useful, and impactful. Now, I could give you a whole lot of theory about succession planning, but you can do that yourself on the internet. In fact, SIA has tips on their website that you can access. Here are just a few from our soroptimus.org website. And these come from just clicking under Federation and Leadership Development. So SIA conducted a role delineation study, which provides universal input from all over our federation on the roles of our club officers. The SIA website also has documents about identifying and nurturing successors, mentoring for the future, team building within your club, and collaborative leadership, just to mention a few. There are so much available on our website that you just need to spend some time playing on it and finding the topics that you need. And of course, you can just type succession, leadership, mentoring into your search engine, and you will find multitudes of resources to help you. Now, I'm a person that needs to see how something is done, not just hear theories. And I hope you're similar, because let's start figuring out your club's succession. One of the first tasks is to ensure that your club is designed and operating for success. I found an article by Julie David that is pretty good called 20 Ways to Recruit Volunteers for Your Nonprofit. Again, when investing in people, your club will thrive. Now, to make sure your club is ready to attract members as leaders, you must have a healthy club. Not many people want the challenge to troubleshoot and fix every aspect of the club. So get input from your members. Before you even start to invite new folks into your organization or ask members to take on leadership roles, take time to look at how things are running and where improvements can be made. Your current members can be some of your best supporters, inspiring others with their positive experiences. You can get input through an anonymous survey or a healthy conversation during a meeting, which is always fun. Whatever way that works for your club, as long as members are allowed to speak their minds and members agree to listen with an open heart and mind. Also, make sure you're current. Update your club documents and create time in your meetings for Seroptimus education and updates. When members feel like they know what is happening, they feel more involved and may want to participate further, maybe even as a leader. Either become or find a people person. What if your passion for your nonprofit is off the charts, but your ability to communicate that passion finds you tongue-tied? Let me first suggest that practice makes perfect. Get outside your comfort zone and start talking. If you're not comfortable, find others in your organization with the gift of gab and ask them to work with you when greeting members or encouraging members to participate more fully. You should always be recruit ready. When a potential member or an existing member asks about volunteer opportunities, be ready. Have a strong knowledge of your upcoming calendar and encourage each member to participate in something. My club's bylaws require that each member be a member of at least one committee, but it doesn't require them to be an officer or a chair. Along with your recruitment materials for potential members, work on recruitment materials for member leadership positions. It could be an encouraging flyer or Seroptimus 101 document that's available on the seroptimus.org website, or a mentoring program, or a written manual. Just be ready when the opportunity arises. We've all heard of this before. Create an elevator speech, a summary of your club that can be shared with others during an elevator ride. Part of being recruit ready is creating a quick 30-second explanation of the vision and mission of your nonprofit and the help you need to meet the wants and needs of your club. Not just recruiting for new members, but recruiting for leaders. You need to be ready with a 30-second explanation of how each member can help the club. Sometimes members just don't want to add one more responsibility to their already busy life. Well, aren't we all busy? And didn't we all join our organization to make a difference? It takes some thought to figure out how to encourage members to see the needs of your club and to step forward. So be ready with a quick encouraging message and details to get involved. That includes your commitment to help. Recruit leaders by using a fun title. When you're talking with your members, it might be better to create a more specific title for leadership opportunities, so potential volunteers will be able to match their skill with your needs, or break up the duties to get more people involved. It's less intimidating for someone to volunteer for a one-time Live Your Dream Awards ceremony planner or judge of our applicants, rather than taking on the duties of a position called the Live Your Dream Award chair. And also check out your club's social media. If you have social media, look at the information you are highlighting. Does it present your club as an active, vibrant community service organization? Does it give details for your members? If not, start working on improving your social media, even if it's just updating information and posting pictures of your work or encouraging posts about service. Providing information digitally saves your leaders time and puts all the information your leaders need in one quick spot. Make resources available to your members. Print out the duties and responsibilities of the offices. When people see that the tasks are broken down amongst several members, they may be more willing to volunteer to lead. Print out Seroptimus 101 a document that I use quite a bit. It has a great overview of our organization and even defines our terms. This will help members feel more informed and able to lead. Also, have business cards and event flyers made for members to use in the community. The more resources members have, the more ready they feel to volunteer and recruit others to join. Now, find a balance. It's wise to communicate the need for leaders, but also give people the opportunity to say no if it's not a good time or fit. Communicating that balance seems less manipulative and is a healthy way to approach recruiting leaders. Desperation is not an effective tool when it comes to engaging long-term volunteers. Be resilient. Take a no as a not now instead of a not ever. Don't be afraid to circle back with your members. Life circumstances often change, and a past no may become a yes for a less demanding leadership opportunity. And lastly, encourage growth. You may encounter a volunteer who is willing but lacking a necessary skill to really maximize their time with your club. Don't be afraid to suggest ways to develop needed skills like public speaking in your club or researching websites for many presentations on important topics that interest your members. Give your members opportunities within the club to be successful and build their confidence. Again, make sure your club is set up for success, and members will be more encouraged that they can try a leadership position because they see the resources available and they know that you will help. Okay, we've found some resources online and on our optimist.org website, and we've identified how to make sure your club is ready to attract leaders of your officers. I encourage you to do this later with all your club leadership positions, but for today, let's just do the elected officer positions. The elected positions are usually president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. In your club bylaws and procedures, you should have a pretty good list of each position's duties and responsibilities. Maybe you even have a manual for each position, which is fantastic, to start developing or to, if you already have it, to update it. With written documents, future leaders don't feel like they need to create anything from scratch. If you don't have your club bylaws and procedures at your fingertips, let's just use my club's example. So we can use the recent study conducted by SIA. It's a very small print, but I mentioned the SIA role delineation study before. Here's a list from that document for skills needed for club president. The general skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, management skills, technical skills, and personal attributes for president are listed here. It sounds intimidating, but take a look. Skills like listening, empathy, problem solving, flexibility are frankly possessed by most of us. This list can be used as an encouragement that most members already have most of these skills. Again, you can find the study on the SPR.org website. But action words are sometimes more meaningful than words for desired skills. The action words for officers in my club's bylaws are, for president, developing the vision, implementing the policies and procedures to achieve the vision, attending meetings, holding others accountable, setting strategic goals and tracking outcomes, reviewing and revising all the club's work, conducting and presiding over meetings, representing the club professionally, and delegating the club's work to others. And if you went through each officer, the action words for vice president may be attending meetings, assuming the duties of the president, managing the club's work, developing and mentoring committees, reporting the status of work, and delegating. And the action words for secretary may be attending meetings, documenting the decisions of the club, presenting materials, submitting members. And the action words for treasurers may be attending meetings, preparing accurate documents, receiving funds, arranging all expenditures, notifying the status of members who are not in good standing. So you can see there are common action words or skills for all these offices. Accountability, dependability, flexibility, listening, civility, verbal and written communication, plus attendance. Being reliable and involved are big action words. Now, I'm assuming quite a few members have popped into your mind when you hear these action words. I'm assuming the members you know popped into your mind for each of these positions for a reason. So please use your iPhone or computer and let's take a minute to write down the name of every member in your club. Now, my club only has 11 members, so that's kind of easy. If you have a large club for this workshop, just write down maybe 5 or 10 names that come to mind. And while you're writing down their names, think about why those members popped into your head. Are they good to go as the officer? We just went through the action duties that they have, or the actions that they need to be able to take, and some of the skills. So are they good to go as an officer? Do they need some mentoring? Are they doers but continue to refuse to be an officer? Let's just take a couple of minutes to jot down the names of the people that you're thinking about. While you're doing that, I'll just use my club as an example. I have one member is really involved in SPR Optimist, loves every minute of it, likes to be in leadership positions, but she gets really, what's the good word to say? She gets really apprehensive if people aren't on time. And me as the president, I'm kind of all around our agenda. I try to stay on topic, but if someone brings up something else, I jump to the next topic and then I come back. And as a secretary, she has trouble following me sometimes. So that's something that you need to be able to communicate with your secretary or other leaders in the club and get to understand each other, make it easier for each other to be able to follow along with what they're required to do. Because as president, you have some responsibilities, but so does the secretary, so does the treasurer. And if you make it more difficult for them, it's harder to get people to take on those roles. Okay, so you might have written down a few names now. Trying to move that, okay. So now you have the officer responsibilities and duties, and you have a list of names. Now let's make some assumptions about each person's ability to be successful in each of the officer positions. Do they have leadership skills? Would they be good to go as a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer right now? For instance, I've been a president, a vice president, a secretary, but my club will never elect me as a treasurer. So you may plug me in as president, vice president, secretary as good to go, but in the treasurer position, I'd be needs more mentoring. And I think I'm kind of known for volunteering to always do something. So not at this time probably doesn't apply to me or to any of you guys. But let's think about each person. When you think of one of the names, think where they would fit best in these club officers. And obviously when you're doing this with all of your leadership positions, you might plug them into other things like Live Your Dream Award, chair, or fundraising, or any of our pillars. But I find it easiest to just jot them underneath the areas where I think they would be really good. And then next to their name, just put a G, good to go, an M for someone who may need some mentoring, but would be really strong in that position, or an L for later or not at this time. And of course, we always continue to encourage members who are not at this time to participate in leadership positions on a smaller scale. until they're ready to take on one of the big officer positions. So as you're thinking of these names and you're jotting down if they need mentors or if they may be somebody that you contact later or if they're good to go, jot those initials down next to them, just so it's quick in your mind. And then put a star next to each of the name who has already successfully held these positions. They may still need some mentoring, even if they have the experience in these positions. So the mentoring truly never really stops. So let's plot the names. Let's plot if they're good to go now, and let's plot a star if they've already held those positions and if they were successful in it. Once you do this, whether tonight with these just 4 positions and a handful of your members, or later on when you sit down and really think about every one of your members and how they could fit into the succession of your club, you have a place to start when you're planning for these positions. But how do you know if your assumptions are right? How do you get to know your members? We ask questions. This can be formally in a one-on-one meeting, through a survey, or throughout the club year, asking a question during every meeting. Here's some questions that are kind of fun in a meeting setting. Why did you join our organization? What do you like most about our leader if we promise someone to help with mentoring? Do you like to plan events? Do you like to take pictures? Do you like to research what's new in Seroptimus or leadership in general? How much time do you have to plan on spend on volunteering each week? And frankly, every woman has leadership skills. What do you like most about being a leader, whether that's in your home, in a actual career position, or as a Seroptimus member? So there are plenty of interview questions that you can find on the internet. Base your questions on what the club needs and frame the questions to encourage members to consider stepping forward. Add some fun ones too. This one we asked at our club meeting one time, and oh my gosh, it was hilarious. Would you rather fight 1 zebra-sized pigeon or 100 pigeon-sized zebras? So would you rather fight 1 zebra-sized pigeon or 100 pigeon-sized zebras? That takes some thought, huh? But it's fun, and you see a lot of personality coming out from your club members. So after you've interviewed every member, I'm pretty sure you can plug some more members into these positions or tweak your previous assumptions. So nurturing successors is really mentoring. I'm a retired law enforcement officer, and I was asked several times to sit on promotional examinations. The Scottsdale police chief stands out to me as an exceptional leader because after the promotional process was completed, he gathered every evaluator together and literally discussed how each nominee for promotion should be helped to be successful for the next time. The promotion examination included a written test, an oral board, and several field problems where actual work was simulated to see how they responded. And the evaluators were able to say things like, this person needs public speaking training or needs to have more patrol experience to increase his knowledge. And I promise you, that chief made those suggestions happen. One of the most flattering comments anyone can receive is that you notice them and you care about recognizing and mentoring them. There is something to compliment every member on, and maybe make that part of your meetings. Highlight a member and give them a chance to present what they're passionate about. Our club had members sign up for a meeting, so there was no surprise, and do a 2 to 3 minute presentation about their career or something they were passionate about. Their choice. It allows you to get to know them better, improves their public speaking skills, in a supportive and motivating environment while they talk about themselves or something they love. Even members at region and federation events should be complimented and encouraged. That's exactly what happened to me. I was at a region event and a past SIA president came up to me and said, "You should consider running for the region board." I had never even considered it. But a couple of years later, I decided to give it a shot, thinking I would never be elected. I'm a person who puts their money where their mouth is. So if I see something that I think needs changed or something I think I can contribute to in a positive way, I'll step up. And the region board was the most fun ever. And it ultimately led me to the SIA presidency. And it all came from someone reaching out to me and just saying, "I've noticed some skills in you." When it comes to grooming future leaders, organizations already have a tremendous resource in the form of their existing leaders. No one is alone. By encouraging these leaders to become mentors, they can not only pass along their experience and institutional knowledge, but also help to create a sense of continuity for members throughout the organization. New leadership can be far less stressful when everyone knows the new leader and trusts that they've been well prepared for the role by successful mentors. So what is a mentor? Mentorship is a relationship with the goal of professional and personal development. A mentor is an experienced individual willing to share knowledge, advice, and insight, who serves as an advisor for a fixed period of time. And a mentee is an individual who agrees to be advised, trained, or counseled by a mentor, also for a fixed period of time. So how is membership or mentorship related to succession planning? Mentorship develops employees through building a relationship with Seroptimus leaders. It provides real-world knowledge and guidance that is needed to become a leader. It's a voluntary, organic means for knowledge sharing and career support by experienced and successful leaders. And it should be offered to all interested members. Some things to think about as you select participants in a formal or informal mentorship. Mentors should be knowledgeable about our organization and leadership in general, willing to share time and resources, be a good communicator, be non-judgmental, have a global perspective and experiences, be invested in the success of your club. And other qualities should, of course, be a member of good standing and, most importantly, available. One of the biggest challenges of a successful mentoring program is matching candidates with the right mentor. This person not only needs to possess the skills, knowledge, and experience that a member could benefit from, but also has to be committed to putting in the work associated with mentorship. Being a mentor is distinct from formalized training or coaching, but they should not be entirely informal role model. The member isn't there to hear stories about the early days of the mentor's careers. They want to learn how to apply the skills and strategies that will make them more effective leaders. For a successful mentee experience, the members should have a desire to learn, be flexible, be open-minded, display enthusiasm, have initiative, and be able to accept constructive criticism and feedback. So how do you develop a successful training plan? You should include goals for training. The exact goals will vary about how much time you have and what your mentee needs to learn. For example, you and your mentee might aim for attending leadership meetings together, or you might set a goal to teach them how to use a club resources like your websites, just within the first few meetings. I just jumped way ahead, sorry there. So Right, and you should develop regular one-on-one meetings. Time for coaching and discussion is a critical step in how to train your mentee. Set up a meeting each month or each week, whatever works for you both, and use that time to go over standard operating procedures, best practices, and reinforce your institutional knowledge and skills. Attendance in project meetings and calls. Start exposing your mentee into your ongoing projects and meeting routines. They can observe in the beginning and get to know the people involved and learn any new terms they'll need. I know I've used Live Your Dream Award chair before. That's a perfect example of having your mentee attend the meetings with you with no responsibilities at the beginning. And then slowly they'll understand what the program is, how to go about judging, how to go about setting up a ceremony, and they'll learn all the things that they need to step into your position for the next time. As the training progresses, plan to slowly transition your mentee into your office or position by giving them more responsibility, as they know that you're still going to be there as their safety net. As you improve your relationship with your mentee and observe their abilities, you should be able to identify any specific training needs and offer them things like relationship and communication skills, project management skills, time management skills, and leadership skills like negotiation and conflict resolution. This is also a good time for a refresher on your organization's general policies and procedures. Also discuss the current accepted best practices for handling tasks, such as keeping meetings to the time frame and staying on task with an agenda, or the rules for managing a budget, and providing them with contacts who can help. Now, overcoming adversity is part of success, and it's easier when you're prepared. Be clear with your successor about the upsides and the potential challenges of their new role. Talk through a few scenarios to get them thinking about how they might handle it if something unexpected happens during a project or a meeting. We all have stories about something that just comes up, personality conflicts, people that won't step up for leadership. How can they help overcome those obstacles? Think about them ahead of time so it's not a brand new thing that just suddenly appears to them. Keep the lines of communication open. Your successors will feel more confident knowing that you're available to answer questions for the time after they step into their new role. Unless there are procedures that must be strictly followed, don't insist that your successor do every task or handle every situation exactly the way you've done it. Let them be themselves. Encourage their creativity. Don't we all hate that phrase because we've always done it this way? So how do you match mentors and mentees? Let's go back to our list of club members. See the ones with a star by their name? It's time to call them up and talk about what they would like to contribute to the success of your club. Take a moment to remember why you placed these members who have held these positions as ready to go or needs mentoring or not at this time. Make some more assumptions about which positions they would be good mentors for, and make some assumptions about which mentees they may work well with, and start making mentor assignments. Keep track of what is happening by getting regular updates for each mentor and mentee. If it's working, encourage it. If it's not, switch people around. Remember, the future of your club depends on setting up successful members as successors for all leadership positions. So in closing, and before we open up for stories or questions or comments, remember the main points. Make sure your club is ready for a successful future and future leaders. Identify your club's leadership opportunities. Make assumptions about your people. Get to know your people better. Understand that nurturing is mentoring. Identify past leaders who might be good mentors. Have conversations and provide training to your members for your club's successful future. So that's what I have to present for you tonight. And I would love to open it up and share any of your experiences as a mentor or a mentee, or if any of you actually have a written mentor program that we could share with everyone. Does anyone have any input?
I have a question.
Sure.
What advice do you have for someone volunteering for a leadership role that they're probably not best suited for?
Well, that's always a challenge. But again, I mean, it's a very simple response and it takes time. But the whole key is communication. To talk to them about why they want that position, what it says to them. They must be passionate about part of it. And maybe actually just have an open conversation with them that says, we would love for you to be involved in that. I can see that you are passionate about this one area specifically. I would like for you to work with, Karen or Janice or Linda or Susan, who have had experience in that area, and they can help you develop the skills for all the other areas. But you don't want to crush their enthusiasm for something. Right. But if their lack of skills is obvious, you just need to step forward and fix it. So have that communication with them, encourage them to continue to volunteer, find out what it is about that position that they really want to volunteer for. Maybe they received that award and they've never said it to anyone, and they just want to give back because they received that award before they were a member. That's pretty cool. And you could use that in a presentation later on, that one of our own members received this award. And then put them with a mentor, help develop that abilities where they're lacking. And you might be well on your way to having a really invested volunteer for years to come with Live Your Dream or whatever else that they might want to do. But I think the key to everything, the key to leadership for everything is communication, listening, encouraging people, treating people the way that you want to be treated, helping them to find the skills that you recognize that they may need. And I know that sounds simple, but it kind of is, as long as you have enough confidence and the ability to actually have a conversation with someone.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone else have any experience as a mentor or a mentee?
Well, this is Peggy. Here in Hanford this year, we started mentoring, leadership mentoring, and we offered it all out to the members. And so we had two young, brand new members step up, and they got paired with a more experienced member. And they came back and presented to the club. Like yesterday, we had a presentation by one of them about why are you a Seroptimist? And it went really well, and you could really see the growth in them. And so that's what we're trying to do this year is, mentor the young people that come in. And so they have a purpose of being there on top of being a Seroptimist.
That's a great idea. And that just made me think of one thing. Like I said, my club is very small, and we've become friends as much as we have our members that are working towards a mission. But I know that when we have new members come in, we don't really have a formal mentoring program, but we pass out that Seroptimist 101, and I always try to set by new people. So you can tell when they have a question, when there's presentations going on and there's terms being used. So if you don't think that your club is ready or willing to have a full-blown mentoring program, or if there's just not enough members to make it worthwhile, at least during your meetings, ask people to sit next to other people. So who in your club has a lot of information about Seroptimists, have been there for 20 years or whatever. Set them next to somebody new and encourage them to talk. And then maybe they'll set up meetings. We all go to lunch with other members, those kind of things. And maybe it'll just, I know the word is organic, but it always makes me feel weird when I say organically develop, but it will. So it's just another simple little way to mentor somebody without a formal program laid out. Thank you,
Yeah,
Peggy.
also, what we do with that is we open it up to the public. We post it so the community can come to these trainings. And we've actually, yesterday, we added 2 more members because of this training yesterday.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's going very
So-
well.
So do you have a written program?
No, we really don't. I'll have to talk to the leaders that did this and see what they think.
Yeah, because I mean, sounds like it's doing fantastic, just kind of off the top of your head. But if you could sit down and say, you know, there's things special to our club that we want to make sure that they understand that maybe isn't found anywhere else, that could be a topic for a meeting, those kind of things. So it sounds really good, Peggy. And if you want to share anything once it's written, I'd love to see it.
Okay, I'll talk to them.
Okay.
So Peggy, I'm just curious if was there a title for your training yesterday, and how did you get it out to the public?
We did it on Eventbrite,
Okay.
you know? So yeah, there is a title. I wonder if it's still on there. Yeah, there was a title and we did Eventbrite. And so people would sign up and we give them a free lunch if they sign up in time. And even if they didn't, we had an extra few lunches and we gave them out. I'll have to see if I can find it.
Okay. Thank you.
You know, one thing that we're doing in the Phoenix area, I have a longtime friend, and she's just one of those get things done type of people. And so she decided there needed to be a women's leadership training day, and she has a lot of connections. She is so connected, it's kind of scary in my opinion. I mean, she knows a little bit about everyone and every topic you can think of. So she had these fantastic presenters come who did it for free. And then one of them suggested writing a grant, which she actually obtained from, I think it was Microsoft, to develop an app for mentorship in the Phoenix area. So the thought is people that want to be mentors can sign up. People that want to be a mentoree, a mentee, can sign up, and you can find mentors in your geographical area. So for instance, I live in the city of Peoria, which is connected to Phoenix. So I could actually look up mentors available to me within driving distance, that type of thing, and set up different relationships that way. So we're really excited about that because we've kind of globbed onto her and her leadership training and all of our connections as a club. We're the busy bees that, you know, do lunch and clean up and set up everything. But boy, we wound up getting, it was $2,240 some because she had it as part of the sponsorship, that some of their sponsorship money went towards our Live Your Dream Awards. So
Wow.
they got quite a bit of money just for volunteering for the day. But I'm excited to get involved with that mentor program as well, an online process.
Yeah, our training yesterday was called Finding Your Why Workshop.
Finding your why, WHY.
Yep, Finding Your Why.
It looked really good. If Hanford wasn't like so far away from me, I would have gone.
It was very good. It was,
Yeah.
but we are a very large club. We have actually 72 members right now,
Wow.
and we average about 35 at every meeting.
That's fantastic. You're obviously doing something right, Peggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good group of ladies, I tell you.
That's fantastic. So who else has anything have been mentored or trained in some way? Anyone else want to share?
Well, I'm thinking I'm the invisible one here. It's Linda.
Did they get you?
I am a mentor at a private university for mentees.
Mhm.
And we do have like a whole handbook on how to be a mentor, which I hadn't thought about it, but after hearing this could be translated
Right.
really easily into something for us. I mean, mine is very specific to mentoring and could become a special education teacher, but you could certainly take a lot of the basics from that. So
Mhm.
that's inspired me to, I'll look at that and see how we can do that.
And once you do all that work, share it with the rest of us, Linda.
All right.
So if there's, we have a few more minutes, if there's anything else that anyone would like to share.
I was just gonna say, I don't know why I'm sharing this other than it's just an observation. In our club, and maybe other clubs have experienced this at certain points in time, but we have a lot of representation at the region level in terms of the board and in terms of pillar chairs, committee chairs, which is great, but it also makes it really difficult to fill positions in our club because the people that are all in, lifelong, not truly lifelong, but feels like, lifelong optimists, are very active at the region level. And it, in some ways is a disservice to our club. It's nice that we are able to have a lot of conversation about what's happening at the region level. But I think it somewhat robs us of our place in the community, it's just something we're experiencing. It's kind of interesting. We have 3 of our 4 pillar chairs are from our club for the region. And we have 2 people on the region board, which means they can't, serve a role at the club level. Now, we obviously can flip that and say, our club should be ripe with people that are in a position to mentor and bring up future leaders, which is true. We just kind of have to have that commitment to do that, right? It's just an interesting struggle that we're having.
Right. And my small club has several region chairs. And what we have to remind ourselves, and maybe this is something that you just need to, again, clear communication and sharing with open minds and open hearts, is that the work in the community starts in the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
The actual work that is hands-on with our women and girls are in the clubs, and that we are so proud of you for going into the region level, but don't forget about us. For instance, like when I was in the region, I was being elected to positions in the region. And of course, there's the rule that you can't be elected in more than one area. And so I was our chartering member, president, and then our club is 15 years old. And so for 14 years, I was being elected to region and federation offices. And I kept telling people, as soon as I'm done, I'll want to be president. I want to be whatever. And I even tweaked a little bit by saying, you can appoint me. I'm not elected if you appoint me to these positions, because I felt really bad not being more hands-on involved in our club as a officer. Not that I wasn't hands-on attending things and, it was committees and all that kind of stuff. But I think you just have to have an open communication and say, we really need, I understand that you're involved with the region, but we really need these positions filled. And if you want to walk that little tightrope like I did, which is between a lie and honesty, you can appoint me, and we just tell them
Good to know.
I'm helping do something. Because really, why shoot yourself in the foot just because there's a rule out there? And if you're doing enough work for both, then that would work. So
yeah, thank you.
Yep. Well, I just wanted to thank you so much for having me today, and I'm available anytime. I'm retired now, so I can talk about anytime, anywhere. My contact information hopefully is on the screen, And I just wish you luck and fun as you tweak your club for success and you work with your members to provide the training they need to make sure that your club is successful, because a successful club, successful leaders are the legacy. And best wishes to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Penny. This is super helpful.
you.
I can think of a lot of people I want to share this information with so that they use it, nominating committees and, all kinds of groups that could benefit from just kind of the very methodical think through your people, know your people and think through it.
Yeah.
And this is fantastic. So thank you so much.
Well, thank
I
you
want to say,
all.
I want to say thank you too. It's very, very helpful to me. And I like she was just saying, I can think of people too. This is very beneficial. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you all in person.
Yes, someday it's going to happen.
I think, isn't the next one like Bellevue or somewhere, which is
Yes.
Mhm.
kind of, that's too far. Is that what
No, it's not too far.
Not too
It
far,
is
yeah.
super far.
So I'm looking forward to going and seeing you guys there for sure.
Yes, absolutely. We look forward to it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. See you soon.
Sure.
Yes, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you
Bye.
for setting all these